Be careful buying items like this. See, you may think, oh, it's just art, right? No. What you may call art or just a carving houses an entity on the inside of it. See, in these stores where things are used, there are items that travel from all around the globe just to get to you and to get inside of your house, and you're wondering why you have problems. A lot of times, things like this, you'll find them in shrines. I'm telling you, there's some shrines you'll find in Nigeria or Zimbabwe, where if you go in there and you start knocking these things over, you'll be dead within a week. See, a lot of times you can buy one of those and it'll say just African wood carving, and you're not knowing it came from Okija Shrine, right? I'm just making giving an example, right? And it's bringing darkness into your home. A lot of us, right, especially here in America, we grew up with our grandparents. I know on the American side of my family, my father's side, like my grandmother and a lot of people would have like decorate their homes with these type of things, right? But not knowing really where it came from. See, there are times you can go to different countries, right, and you'll buy what is a carving, but you don't know that the intent of that thing, right, what's inside of it is to steal wealth spiritually from your home, right? And you're wondering why you're suffering, or you wonder why certain things have been traveling down your bloodline for such a long time, because you've been passing this thing over and over for the longest time. Most things are not benign. I'm telling you, a lot of these things are idols, right? They'll be sitting inside of a shrine. Someone worships that thing, but they can find its way. This way the spirit realm works is if you go and try and buy these little items from used stores, or you could even go online, buy something new. There's an intent and a purpose, and it's not good. Just because something looks pretty or it seems like, oh, this is just nice and cultural, stop falling for the devil's trap when he's like, okay, this is cultural, so it must be good, right? You don't know how human beings are wicked at their core. Okay, so when someone sells you something and they smile, especially a lot of you who go to different places as tourists, and someone says, oh, my brother, my sister, welcome home, and they sell you this thing, you're so happy to be there that you get swindled, right? And somebody spiritually takes something from you. But anyway, the point is just to say, be careful, right? God bless.
I took this video after I got my water-powered car back from the government.
I got my water-powered car back. The only thing is that it's missing a couple items that were confiscated by the government. One of them being the tank that holds all of the water. They were nice enough to leave my amplifier that I had in here, and they left some hose. Other than that, the whole tank, everything is all gone. All of the lines that I had running underneath of the car, all stripped, completely gone. Oh yeah, they also took the box where everything happens.
All right, then. Will Woven. Oh, yeah, that's right. Now I remember. A note about witches. See, here's the thing about them. They're real. Witches are as real as a rock in your shoe. That's the first thing you need to know. The second thing you need to know, they're here. And they live amongst us. Side by side with humans in every big city, in every small town. For all you know, a witch might be living right next door to you right now. They everywhere. A witch might be a nurse, or your teacher. And you can bet your sweet patootie that friendly little old lady on the bus offering you a delicious piece of saltwater taffy is a witch. And here's the most important thing, Witches hate children. A witch spends all her time thinking up ways to destroy children. That's all she thinks about. How will I squish this horrible child? A witch gets the same pleasure from squishing a child as you get from eating a bowl of ice cream covered in butterscotch syrup with whipped cream, chopped nuts, and a cherry on top.
I don't want nothing that looked like Elvis. He stole. That's how I was talking to fake Elvises right now.
Okay.
Give me an African pose.
An African pose.
The fuck I'm gonna do? I'm
Show-
posing like fucking Elvis.
Show me.
Fuck is Elvis. I get the exact feeling from that phone call in the photos. Whatever it's so good.
Jovencito, todavía tierno, ¿eh?
tiernito nomás.
Ni se resiste, porque cuando vienen los veteranos, el otro día vino Beto Acosta, este no se resiste. Carne leprosa y fresca.
Bueno, Messi, primero felicitaciones por el campeonato otorgado que han ganado allá en las Europas. Contento, ¿no?
Sí, muy contento.
Te escapaba siempre ahí por el lateral. Qué jugador, Messi. Juega al lado de Ronaldinho. Lo conoce en las duchas Ronaldinho.
Vamos a entrar en ese tema, que es el que más nos importa.
¿Cómo la tiene Ronaldinho?
¿Cómo la tiene?
O sea, que está casado.
Sí, sí. No, está soltero y
El dientudito ese. Yo le digo dientudito, parece un dientudito, pero ¿cómo la mueve?
está muy bien, ¿eh?
Juega bien, ¿se la tocás a Ronaldinho o no se la tocás? ¿Quién se la toca a Ronaldinho más?
Sí, todo.
Todos se la tocan.
Todos se la tocan.
Es un juego en equipo lo que
Vamos a ir a jugar al Barcelona, entonces. La
Exacto.
tocamos a Ronaldinho un rato.
Te estás adaptando ya con la comida, todo.
Sí, ya hace mucho que estoy, ya estoy bien.
Tenés acá un poquito socio. Che, mi amor, digo, mi amor de más sentido, así, orgullo campestre. ¿Estás de novio? ¿Cómo? ¿Tenés nada?
No, nada.
Nosotros tenemos la posibilidad ahora de hacer el regalo de la prenda, porque nosotros vamos a llegar a una ropa que tenemos de canje, así que vamos a ir a un corte mientras vemos un compacto de él, de toda su historia, y el momento en que lo circuncidan, cuando tiene 2 meses el padre que lo lleva a una capilla de Rosario a circuncidar. Vamos a ver ese video que tenemos en Super 8 mientras le probamos la ropa a ver si está en condiciones. Está Messi con nosotros, vamos entonces.
Tenemos unas remeritas que dicen nombre de campana. Traigan las remeras, por favor.
No, M.
¿Es M? ¿El tuyo?
Medium.
Pero vos siempre...
No, cállalo. Acá estamos hablando de los falcones campestres y cuántas preguntas que tenemos para Messi. Vamos a estar en un ratito nada más, Messi, y primero te agradezco tu presencia. Vamos a estar haciendo la yeya campestre. Cada invitado nos yeya acá a nosotros. Y lo va a estar yeyando.
Y si te portas bien, te vamos a yeyar a vos para que lo muestren los vestuarios de Barcelona. Te vamos a hacer una yerra en el culo para que vos te lleves el que tuviste el hombre de campo, carajo. Exactamente.
Bueno, ayer se cumplieron 100 años de la Asociación Argentina de Árbitros. Hombre de campo estuvo ahí para ver los festejos. Vamos a ver el video. Vos sabés, fuimos a comer después. Con Barraza, así, Basi, Elizondo.
Todos.
Y sí, vos sabés que no sé dónde terminamos, pero algo me cayó muy mal. No sé qué.
¿Será una chura?
Sí.
¿Será una chura
No
algo?
sé, no sé.
Pero vos
fíjense.
también, tenés que cuidarte un poco más.
Pero no sé, me llevaron a comer medio.
A ver,
pedo,
Leonel,
todo.
si podés
¿Qué
ayudarlo.
pasa? En esos lugares, para hacer la ruta, comer un choripanín, andás a ver, capaz que lo hace con gato muerto.
Fíjate, no sé, ¿qué me dieron? No
Acá
sé.
eso que está, Messi.
A ver, Messi.
Pero que con base
Tirá despacito. Despacio, tirá despacio.
Ay, mira.
Era eso. Aire, tíralo.
Sí, aire.
Y aquí estamos, con toda la alegría, festejando con la comunidad comunista que nos ha venido a ver. Este hermoso programa que hemos dado a llamar Hombre de Campo, seguimos.
La posición donde vos jugás, por ejemplo, es incómoda en el momento que te rodeamos. ¿Sabes?
Y según cómo se ve en el momento.
Vos estás acá en el medio con nosotros.
Yo soy Roberto Carlos, vos sos Palito Ortega.
Ahí está.
Vos tirá de allá.
Perales
Y Chayanne.
y Chayanne.
Ahí está. Tirá de allá, Freddy.
¡Yo voy, pegamos! ¡Yo voy a dar el palo!
Ahí bien.
¡Ay, se pasó! ¡Vamos! ¡No vale! ¡Ay, pasó!
La pelota hay que mirar allá.
Bueno, la primera la tenemos entonces. Perfecto. Vamos a un corte, vemos el jet play y enseguida volvemos en Hombre de Campo. Vamos. Buenísimo quedó, buenísimo.
Qué cabezazo.
¿Cómo cabecear?
¿Cómo se eleva? ¿Cómo se eleva?
No tenemos claro, lo que queremos saber es esto. En el momento,
la pelota.
claro, vos recibís la pelota con toda la defensa atrás. Y después te das vuelta y vas viendo a quién se la pasa. Entonces vos estás de allá recibiendo que viene la pelota. Nosotros somos allá. Exactamente. ¿Cómo? A ver. La tenés que dominar ahí. Vos la dominás.
Un pase que te hacen.
Hagamos esta. Yo vengo para acá. Vos pegame en la pierna. Vengo. Yo tengo eso. Sí. ¡Chum! ¡Ay, penal!
No, ¿cómo hay? No.
Vamos a hacer. Recibe la pelota.
No siempre me mira usted. ¿Por qué me mira tanto?
Tranquilo, Messi.
No tengan, las cámaras están de aquel lado. No se preocupe. Ahí está. Mira jugar.
En el fútbol.
Usted la
Se
recibe.
juega.
Vamos.
Todavía no es fútbol. Acá no se cobra eso.
La pelota no está en juego, así que no es fútbol.
Yo voy el árbitro, yo soy el árbitro. Usted juegue
Ahí voy yo y le gano la...
Usted juegue
Atención,
Yo soy
como dijo Dieguito Armando, la pelota no se mancha. El pantalón sí que mancha uno.
soy el arquero, soy el arquero.
¡Juegue, señor! ¡Juegue, señor!
Es full.
Pero cobran, acá cobran todo.
Es full. Y lo que...
Darkness is your ally. You merely adopted the dark. I was born in it, molded by it.
No matter what the weather, you know, I didn't have any clothes and was turned loose in the woods and then literally hunted by men with guns and never knowing whether or not I would actually be shot. They used hunting dogs to track, which was really, really traumatic. And of course, it was kind of designed to where there's no place to run, no place to hide, because there was no way to get away from them. And it was at one of those human hunting places that I saw George Bush Jr. hunted just as I was. And his own father and Dick Cheney were a part of extreme trauma base for him because they were creating a Manchurian candidate who would become president.
Go on.
So the folks say in the girl made him stop eating it.
It was absolutely horrible that anybody was being hunted. And I've always had extreme compassion for George Bush Jr. It was an effort to be able to keep all the power in the Bush-Clinton dynasties.
People think, well, you run against each other. You're enemies. Political enemies. Well, we were friends before he beat me.
What's good, y'all? I'm back again with another informational vid. I only got 3 minutes because TikTok ain't playing around with me right now. I just want to leave y'all with a clip from the movie Sausage Party. I know a lot of y'all seen this movie and you probably think it's just a comedy, but it is way deeper than just a comedy. This clip that I am about to play for y'all talks about the great beyond. Now, I know y'all seen the movie Soul and how the movie Soul talked about the great beyond and what happens when you go to the light and when you go away from the light. I keep telling y'all these movies ain't just movies. They be putting stuff in plain sight, and these aren't just kids' movies. When I play this clip for you, pay close attention to this Native American and his hot dog and how this Native American reacts when his hot dog tells him what he knows about the great beyond and how he freaks out. Y'all stay spiritual, stay connected. Peace.
Friends are probably wondering where the hell I am. Will somebody please just tell me something already? Okay, the thing about the great beyond is we invented it. What? I know, right? As soon as you're out those doors, The gods kill our asses.
What, are you crazy? That doesn't make any sense. Why would the gods want to kill us? That makes no sense.
Because it makes them stronger. Every kill gives them more power, and it's never enough. Over the years, they've grown bigger, stronger, fatter. And hunger's insatiable, buddy. I mean, fuck.
You guys are fucking nuts. How much of that shit have you been smoking? Too fucking much is how much.
We blaze for real 24/7, no joke. But we also know our shit. Before us, everyone knew the awful truth. Oh, how they screamed. It was a living nightmare. So we, the non-perishables, created a story. The story of the great beyond. A place where the gods care for you, and all your wildest and wettest dreams would come true. They would go out those doors happy, instead of shitting themselves. I am the original inhabitant of this land. My kind once had a pristine isle, majestic and untouched. Then we were driven out of it by a bunch of goddamn fucking crackers.
Oh yeah, the crackers. They do have a nice aisle. Okay, anyway, look. I was told that you might have some answers.
Answers I have. But first, I must know the question.
Okay, well, before I saw him jump to his death, Honey Mustard said that the great beyond is bullshit and the gods are monsters, and I always kind of thought that it didn't quite add up. So I guess my question is, what really happens in the great beyond?
To find that which you seek, all you must do is look deep into my bag of wonderment.
Whoa. I don't see anything.
Deeper, deeper, deeper. Put your whole head in the back there. There you go.
Just say when. I'm just gonna keep going in.
Guys, get out here! Help me kill this brick!
Yeah! This motherfucker knows too much. Get off his ass.
Someone have me a blade. Very pointless. No one will believe you.
I have to try. Everyone will die otherwise.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. Fuck me, right?
Wait, do you guys have any proof of this?
Go to the dark aisle, beyond the ice.
Why? What's in that aisle?
Oh, you'll see. But I warn you, once you see that shit, it'll fuck you up for life.
It's an important thing, and
you know you're a witch, right?
Like a what?
You're a witch.
Oh no, I'm not a witch.
Witches are good things.
Yeah, but I just don't go by that.
Okay. I mean, it's different words for the same
Unless you cast me as Glinda in the new Wizard of Oz.
In which case?
In which case? I'm
I say
available.
that in the context of
Yes.
when I was in college, I had a professor say to me, "You're a witch," and I was like, "Okay." Same. I was like, why would you say that to me? And he was like, what I mean is that you have the ability to conjure the best from those who don't know they have it, and reveal the worst from those who think they're hiding it. And so he was like, you have a gift of sight.
Oh, I am a seer. Right.
And so that was the context he was saying. So he was like, you're able to basically work with the energy of the world in a way that other people may not trust themselves to tap into.
Yeah. I mean, that's been my whole life. I was born with a gift. I talk about it in my first book because I wanted to be clear.
Flex
with people.
number 2.
What is happening?
Flex number 2. I talk about it in my first book, which assumes there are several.
I'm just saying it's important to say my first because when I wrote my first book, I said I already had a lot of followers and I wanted to reveal to them my gift. And I wanted to put it in my opening chapter to give them the choice if they wanted to continue to follow me or not. So I started with that. So this is your opportunity to either close it or keep reading. Because I hid it for so long. Growing up with a gift is scary. And if you try to tell people what you see or dream or hear, you're told you're crazy or they look at you strange. And so I had hid it for a very long time. And I was like, oh, I'm not going to hide that anymore. So this is who I am. And so when you talk about those things, it's been my whole life, you know, from seeing things that nobody else see, and being a little girl thinking, you know, at nighttime I was always afraid of the dark. I slept with a nightlight or the TV on until I was about 28, 29 years old. And then Chance was like, listen, we got a little bit of money. We're going to get a TV with a timer on in the bedroom. So set it for 45 minutes. So you can go on and go to sleep by the time the TV cut off. That's a true thing for me. And so my sister used to tell me it was a boogeyman. And I believed that. And then I got older. I'm like, now, wait a minute. I shouldn't still be seeing the boogeyman at nighttime. But I would see shadows and I would see people and hear things and see things in my dreams that come to pass, or speak to people who I never met before but would tell me things, and I would go tell my mom and them, and they'd be like, there's no way for you to know that. So that's been my entire life. And then I ran from it for a while because it scared me. But now I embrace it, and it's who I am.
So basically what you're saying is I was right.
They put what you call mutagens inside the blood. What the mutagens do is they destroy your DNA and make your body sicker so you can have what we call a slow death. Okay? A slow death. So they can continue to keep billing your insurance all the way up until you die. Now,
she's just talking about anybody who's sick who go to the doctor and just get treatment. And she's talking about someone specific.
And the hospital billing or the doctor billing, when you begin to start doing this forensic audit, then what ends up happening is you start finding out that the doctor's offices was not only billing for shit that never even occurred, but then you start finding out that the doctors started getting bonuses and people on the staff started getting raises. I want you guys to understand something. When you open yourself up to something without having full knowledge of what it is that you're opening yourself up to, you suffer the consequences of such.
My cousin had her pancreas taken out, and she didn't even know she had it taken out.
You could ask for the help.
My grandmother's sister was in a nursing home, and they gave her some medication, made her skin fall off. She died. My cousin's passed too.
You leave yourself subject to not receiving that spiritual assistance or help that you need, because they have to honor thy contract and thy free will. They have to honor it. When I saw that young lady in that hospital bed, and then I saw a clip of what the CDC had put out, it really got me to thinking about some things, because I told you back in 3 years ago not to get yourself twisted up in that shit. And now, those same individuals are now subject to the choices that they made according to the CDC. And if you recall, they were saying that if you did this, if you did that, they were making fun of people, they were threatening people, people were getting fired from their jobs and all kinds of stuff like that. But when you sit back and you think about all the damage that's been done to a lot of people now, and more damage is being done on the people. Because what that shit does is it breaks down your DNA. But it's not just with that situation. It's with any choice or decision that you decide that you are going to make. And you know, deep down inside, you didn't listen to the God within. You didn't listen to the intuition within. And you went against yourself. You were hard-headed. And you went against yourself. Or you didn't listen to that inner voice of the Most High. Or you didn't listen to your ancestors when they were trying to tell you something. Or you went against your gut feeling. How many times have you guys got a gut feeling about something and then you went against it and then all kinds of bad stuff started happening to you? Always remember, your ancestors and everybody else around you has to honor your free will. They're going to come, they're going to tell you, they're going to give you the warnings. But if you're not present enough to see the warnings or pay attention to how you feel, I want to say key word, feel. Not up here. Don't get the thinking up in here, but how you actually feel. When you get to moving against yourself like that, you are literally creating a contract to move against yourself. Now, do you guys have any idea how many times I've had a conversation with Source where I asked Source permission to come in and help someone, and Source has told me absolutely not.
Period.
They open themselves to it. That is their contract, and now they will have to suffer the consequences of their choices. That happens more often than not So I want you guys to understand something. When you decide that you're going to open up yourself to something, whatever it is a contract. If I was to go join Threads right now, Lord have mercy, Threads right now, and I put that post up on my Instagram, that meme where I put a thing up there that says, oh, by the way, yeah, Threads is going to be working with the Fediverse. And now I'm finding out that Instagram possibly and Facebook possibly are now working with the Fediverse, or will be working with the Fediverse. That is a contract. And yes, I went to go see what the Land of God, a.k.a.
Get your ass
Google,
off
had
my
to
bed.
say about what the actual Fediverse is. But if you have intuition, you know. I didn't join that because I didn't want to give consent.
Y'all, this is the one right here.
That's an illusion. Learn how to control you and not everything outside of you. And Nimbarco 17, it says people lack self-preservation. And when you want to know something about that?
That's the one.
Did it ever occur to you that the people who lack self-preservation probably did a contract to do so?
So they already knew their life was been.
Do you guys understand what I'm saying? You're going to see a lot of people out here that are going to be doing a lot of things that don't make any logical sense to you. Right here, logical mind. But if you ain't using this space right here, you won't be able to discern properly what's really going on with that individual. Because you're not feeling anything. You're not feeling anything. See, things that you have to feel isn't gonna make logical sense up here. The key thing here is for you to balance the two. Mind and heart space. Mind and heart space. That's key.
Okay, Jesus.
You gotta get back into a place of feeling again. Come out of your head, babies, and start coming to your heart space and feel again. When you communicate, your words should say, I feel like this, and this. I feel this, I feel that. And if you're not feeling, that means there's something going on with your heart space that you may have to heal from, that you're not able to connect. So I want you to practice feeling more often, feeling the heart. And when you start operating from that space, you'd be surprised at how you can shift your timeline, how you can shift your reality, how you can shift things to a higher vibrational frequency when you're operating from the space, because the heart. Someone says what's up with October the 4th. I have no idea what's going on. I seen the thing about it finally, because y'all asked me about this the other day, and I said, I don't know what the hell's going on. But I also spoke about y'all putting focuses on these dates and stuff like that, right? And how people give energy to something that they don't need to give energy to.
Because it ain't going to be a date.
Energy to something outside of yourself, you create the reality that the powers that be want you to have. So how about this? Instead of you being concerned about it, how about you take your energy off of it? And the more people take their energy off of it, the less of the effect it's going to have. Because you got to be careful about what reality you're choosing to be a part of. These beings know exactly what they need to do to actually manifest their reality. They put something fearful out in front of you, right? Then they get people to talking about it. Then they get the energy in it. Then they're harvesting the energy. And now you have everybody in a frenzy about all this, that, and the third is going to go through. When the truth of the matter is, here's the truth. They've been sending out frequencies on the people since the beginning of time. Do I need to remind some of you guys of the when they started sending out those electric frequencies? I think it was back in the 60s, and they started electrifying everybody's bodies and whatnot. And guess what? We're still here. Did it ever occur to you that using the emergency broadcast system, because they've been doing this shit like forever, that all you gotta do is simply turn your TV off? And say people are panicking for no reason at all. So you're falling into certain things and falling into certain realities that don't have nothing to do with you. If that's not part of your reality, don't entertain it. Sometimes your protection is you not tapping into frequencies like that. This is why I haven't posted that shit on my Instagram, because I don't want that stuff affecting any of my followers, because sometimes some of them can be very panicky. So I try to not to post certain things on my Instagram now because I know that can affect people a certain way. So I'm going to stop posting certain things now. But just remember, all of us do have the choice of free will about what we're going to get involved in. Certain realities you just don't need to get involved in.
So nobody else realized that we've been in the same day for years. Yeah, the same day. Different shit, same day. What you talking about? That don't even make sense. And do. When you realize that time is not real, January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December is not real. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday is not a real thing. Have you realized that? Do anybody else know this? How come it's 360 some odd days in a year? In 1 year, all of those days, but they only named 7. Did the days run out of names or some shit? Was they able to stop figuring out what the 8th day would be called? Or the 9th day? Yo, this shit is some bullshit. Get in the comments if you understand where I'm coming from.
It's said that when they tested the orangutan, they found out he only had 3 DNA series. When they tested the gorilla, they found that the gorilla has 4 DNA series. He's a little smarter than the orangutan. They tested the chimpanzee, which is an ape, and found that he had 5 DNA series. Then they went all into the different races of the world. They went into Europe and tested the DNA series of the English, the French, the German, the Spanish, the Russians, and found they had 6 DNA series. Then they put all of this, what they found from around the world, on a map. It's called the intelligence map of the world, because they tested 116 different human groups and found their DNA series numbers. All of them, all over the world, have 6. And they showed that the English have only 6, and it's all into Europe, only 6. Went over into Japan and China, and they only have 6. Over into America, which is predominantly European, and they only have 6. Then they came to Africa. But when they came to Africa, found out that the African people have 9 DNA series. From here, just below the Songhai Empire, down to the foot of Africa. All those 10 nations, of which African Americans descended from one of them.
We have 9 DNA series, the greatest possibility of genius in our group. Now it's answered this age-old question: how can a people survive being told they're nothing for 400 years, never allowed to learn that they came from beautiful cities, and told they came from a jungle? How could a people survive? How can a people become champions in everything they touch? Because they have 9 DNA series, while the rest of the world has only 6.
It's like a symphony. Just keep listening, and pretty soon you'll start to figure out your part. Everyone plays a piece, and there are melodies.
It's going to get catastrophic here. It's going to get bad, very bad. Not just here, all over America. We're going to let you know what's going to go down here. Your borders are going to get cut off. Your borders. You're not going to be able to get out, okay? You're not going to be able to get from city to city. It's about to happen. With this new influenza pandemic, they're about to cut it loose. We're going to show you everything that's going to go down here. And when it break out, and when it happens, when they're going to tell you to stay in your house for days at a time, when they're going to tell you to stay in your house for days at a time, when they're going to tell you to stay in your house for days at a time, you're going to know who the Lord had in your living room. And heart shall melt. Whoever is not linked into the Most High when this go down, you're not going to make it. Okay? I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but before the Most High destroyed anything, he sent teachers to warn the people. And no one listened. Noah prophesied for 120 years. People looked past him, spit on him, told him he was crazy, until it rained. Same thing is going on now. The Most High sending teachers to tell the people, you better change. You knew sooner or later that this place would go down based on what it's perpetrated on the earth. You don't steal, kill, destroy, and disease, and eventually the man upstairs don't say, you know what, it's time for me to pay this place a visit. You don't build a country off rape, robbery, and murder and think that God is just going to stand back and let this be. He's telling you it's time, and they know it's time. They know it. And your tanks, your military,